Hey there, it's Joe from the Anime Movie Podcast coming to you solo today to discuss something that I've noticed since we've started reviewing anime movies and just being a fan of anime in general. As an anime fan, I find that my appetite for new anime to watch is almost never satiated. I'm constantly looking for something new to check out and to see if I find a new favorite. One of the ways to do this is to look up reviews and ratings for anime. And this is where I think a giant problem comes in. People reviewing anime are way too lenient. I discovered this leniency problem while researching movies to watch for the Anime Movie Podcast, which you should definitely check out, rate and review, like this video, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Our usual process for recording our podcast is that we watch a movie, take notes, do about 15-20 minutes of research on the movie after, and then we record the podcast immediately after that. Many times during that research period, I'll discover that the movie was the winner of some film award, got into a whole bunch of festivals, and usually has a pretty high grades when it comes to the critics. And that has happened with every single movie we've reviewed. We've reviewed a lot of anime movies at this point, and it is an extremely rare occasion that we see a negative review, which blows my mind. Because we've honestly seen quite a few stinkers at this point. The one movie that specifically comes to mind with this problem is a movie called Colorful. I remember watching this movie and finding it to be pretty abysmal. It had some moments of impressive animation, but otherwise the story was no bueno and the characters were simply unlikable. During my research period, I found out this movie won the Japan Academy Prize for Excellence in Animation and was nominated for the Animation of the Year. It holds a 7.81 rating on MyAnimeList, a 7.4 on IMDb, and a 78% on Rotten Tomatoes. I saw this and I was just like, did we watch the same movie? How could this film be so highly regarded and beloved by critics? Am I crazy for not enjoying this movie? Am I missing something? And then that process repeated several times. Several movies that were just absolute dumpster fires seemed to receive nothing but praise from critics and viewers alike. That's where I stumbled upon the theory that anime viewers are just simply too forgiving and nice in their reviews. I decided to test my theory and I wanted to scroll through the rankings on MyAnimeList and keep scrolling until I saw a movie that got below a 7. I had to scroll for so long before I finally got to number 743, the first appearance of a 6.99 for a random Sailor Moon movie. There is no way all of the movies before 743 are decent. I mean, like I said previously, Colorful is a crap movie, and it sits at number 189. What's even more mind-blowing to me is that it is ranked above one of my favorite things I've seen since starting this podcast, Memories, which sits at number 230. The same thing can be said about anime series. I remember seeing a recommendation for a show called Gangsta. I looked up the cover, watched the trailer, it seemed interesting enough, kind of like a Cowboy Bebop type style feel to it, dudes with guns and swords, mafia story. I'm in. Plus, it had a 7.4 on MyAnimeList, so how bad could it be, you know? I bought the series only to find out there is no ending. The show just ends in the middle of a story. Not only does it end in the middle of a story, it ends on a cliffhanger. A show with no ending got a 7.4. How can that happen? The same thing happened to me with No Game, No Life. I was recommended this show on several websites. It's like, hey, if you enjoyed this show, you'll enjoy No Game, No Life. This anime has an 8.16 on MyAnimeList, and it ends on a cliffhanger, and there are no plans to continue producing the show. What the hell is going on? Many times on the podcast, I give movies a low rating. There are just some very obviously bad anime movies and shows out there, and I don't know why we forgive it. It seems like many reviewers operate on the premise that just because something gets made, it's worthy of at least a 6. That is utter nonsense, and we need to hold our anime to a much higher standard. Otherwise, you'll end up like me, owning a copy of Colorful for the rest of your life because you saw it was rated highly on a reviewing website and bought into the fact that it was nominated and won a bunch of awards. At least I didn't have to purchase the movie Blame, which is a sneak preview of our next week's podcast episode, a movie that is so utterly lifeless and dull, yet still holds a 7.1 rating on MyAnimeList. Stay tuned for that full review with me and Kat. But until next time, anime fans, this is Joe signing out for the AMP. Thank you for listening. Please like this video. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. And yeah, I'll talk to you next time. Bye.